was a guy who can make fast money. I was a guy who can make fast money. I played all over New York, you know. Every time $40,000 in a half hour, you know. Then 20, then 60, then 80, then 100, 120, then a couple of millions, you know. When you are fast and you have a good technique, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. When you can do it fast, then you can do it in slow. Like automatic pilot. You close your eyes and you know where everything goes.
Playing music together with Jimmy is a sensational feeling of capturing the moment and being alive. And right now, I just miss it. I miss Jimmy. Hello, this is Jon Larsen from Oslo, the guitar player. That's right. I'm a friend of Jimmy. Do you know, is it possible to talk to Jimmy, please? He's not there. Hospital.
They are of two different generations from two very different worlds, but they call each other brothers. Their passion is for their guitars and Django Reinhardt. It could have been a perfect idyll. Jimmy Rosenberg, the Jimi Hendrix of the world of jazz, and Jon Larsen, a phenomenon in the international string swing community. Then everything goes wrong, and their friendship and career is severely challenged.
Okay, it's ready from here. Sorry, it was too much squeak.
Let's try once more. Maybe I can do it better. Just one more.
Perhaps check the tuning? I don't know.
Jon is a one-of-a-kind person. He's always been living and breathing for this kind of music. He's unique.
Don't give him anything strong to drink after midnight. Then it's terrible. But apart from, it's like the gremlins, you see. Apart from that, he's the nicest person on earth. But no, I can't see really. He has no defect. He's perfect.
Jon Larsen, international artist and producer. He's worked with Robert Norman, Stefan Grappelli, Chet Baker, and the cream of the world's gypsy musicians. Jon has never lived in a caravan. He grew up with three sisters in Oslo, and his father worked for the rail services. No one in his family had any time for jazz or Django Reinhardt.
Like most kids at that time, I'd been to the flea market, got hold of an old radio, I'd painted it green, and at night I was secretly listening to jazz programs. My favorite was the Swedish Leif Andersson and his Smoke Rings.
Hello there, music lovers. Good evening. Vi har ikväll bland annat
And it was one special night when Leif Andersson introduced within his unforgettable voice, upon many requests, Django Reinhardt. He was playing Tears by Django, and it went directly to my heart. It was as if there and then Django had opened up the curtains, and in front of us was the path into the future.
go for it. You know, Django Reinhardt is the best learner you can learn ever from. When you turn on the radio and you hear Django Reinhardt and you pick your guitar and you try to do the same and listen every day to it, the whole day long, that you can sing it with your mouth, then you can play it.
Both Jon and Jimmy were inspired by the same person, a man with a moustache and a guitar, Django Reinhardt. From being a road musician to the muddy Parisian boulevards in the 1930s, Django won every heart in the city of jazz. From this hotel, Django walked across the street to Club Saint-Germain. This is where Django gave his last performances in Paris. His music moved a whole world and later inspired a new generation of musicians, such as Jon and Jimmy.
I think it was 89 or something. Yeah, 89. And Jimmy was 9 years old. And then at a certain moment, this little Jimmy with his guitar, which was bigger than himself, said, "Hans, I want you to be my manager, you know?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know. Do you have a group or something?" Yeah, come. So he took me to his friends, the trio, and they started playing. And although very young, I was very impressed because Jimmy had something original already in his improvisations.
Jimmy is a gypsy of Sinti heritage and grew up in a caravan in Holland. Although his father, Mekki, was imprisoned during most of Jimmy's childhood, it was he who inspired Jimmy to pursue a career in music.
My father was with me when I was young, and I heard jungle music. He put the record, record on, and then every time I played a tune, he made a stripe in the wood, and every time I played it, he did like a cross, and then I played it every time, more and more and more, and then I've got it,
Nature boy, a natural-born talent, growing up too fast. When Jimmy is only 11 years old, he meets one of Django's band members, the legendary violinist Stéphane Grappelli. He invites Jimmy to join him on stage. Jimmy is a rising star. He works day and night.
I think what's unique about Jimmy is that the passion which he plays at, the velocity, the technique it's not a technique. It's pure passion and pure music. He lives. It's not playing fast for the sake of it. That's how he is, and he's one of the only people like Django who can express themselves with that virtuosity. And it could name maybe 5 guitarists, or not even 5, that could do that, to me at least.
He really went for it. He took risks, and made an impression.
He's what I call a nature boy. He doesn't know anything about music theory. So where he takes it, God knows.
Perhaps another nature boy. Jon Larsen is 20 years older than Jimmy. Multi-talented, he has received awards for his compositions, for his brilliance as a musician, and as a music producer. In 1979, Hot Club de Norvège was formed by Svein Obelstad, Per Frydenlund, and Jon. Hot Club de Norvège, an ambitious name for a band of Norwegian street musicians.
one day, while we were playing in the streets, a bearded guy, he was actually a pop singer, came by, and instead of dropping the usual coin into the guitar case, he invited us to the studio the following week. He had a nearly finished new composition, and that was Tanta til Beate, which in turn became our breakthrough.
Tanta til Beate, hun bor i ei gate i gamle by. Og med hatt og fjær hun et vakkert syn.
The collaboration became an award-winning success for both Nilsson and Larsson.
Mellom røyk og gass på Harald Hårrådes plass.
Jon sets up his own record label and travels across Europe to discover new string swing talents. In Holland, Jon meets one of Jimmy's relatives, Stockelo Rosenberg. Jon produces the record Surrester, with Stockelo as the soloist. Another great success.
This was the very starting point of the gypsy jazz in the Netherlands, and within 1 year, Stockelo and the Rosenberg trio had become celebrities in Holland, and they were everywhere. Concerts, selling records on the radio, TV, everything.
Surrester is some kind of a medication. When you take that, you get relaxed and everything is fine.
Following Stockelo's major success, actually hundreds of gypsy kids wanted to become professional musicians, and one of them was Jimmy Rosenberg.
Django Reinhardt spent his last years in Samoa, a village outside of Paris. Every year, some of the world's top musicians meet there to celebrate and perform Django's music.
The very first time I met Jimmy, it was at the Django Festival at Samoa-sur-Seine outside Paris. And Jimmy and his family had driven down in a rusty wreck of a car. And Jimmy came with his guitar larger than himself. And we decided to meet afterwards at Chef Anand, which was the favorite place of Django. Jimmy is auditioning for me, he's playing completely alone. And more people, and within a few minutes, there are so many trying to listen to what Jimmy is playing that it's blocking the road 15 meters away, and people is completely out of their mind.
Well, the first time I met him, it made a wonderful impact on me. He looked like an Arabian prince or a Greek Adonis or something.
And despite his young age, Jimmy was already a born storyteller and so completely free of academical references that he was just awesome. And his ideas were flowing completely freely, in addition to complete control on the guitar, which is an astonishing combination. We really enjoyed being there together, and I invited them for the forthcoming Django Festival in Norway next year, and yes, they wanted to come.
Maar ik speel altijd wel op Django liedjes. Weet je, op Dorado, op Angelo de Bar, Pirelli, die andere allemaal, weet je. Weet je, daarop speel ik dan en dan, weet je, zeg maar, dan meng ik alles samen en daarmee probeer ik dan een eigen stijl te maken. En dan doe ik het anders, weet je, doe ik Django en mijn eigen stijl probeer ik te maken.
I sometimes joked, I said, one day you will play in Carnegie Hall. And then he smiled and I smiled. And then later it happened, you know.
Jesus, experience, of course, looking to the buildings, you know, and I'm in New York now, you know, and I'm playing there, wow. It was really fantastic, it was fantastic.
And when we started playing, everybody's walk away from B.B. King and Eric Clapton, and they walked to us, 50,000 people. And they were standing there for us, and they went crazy about the music. Everybody, I showed my T-shirt and they was fighting for it.
When Jimmy got his first record deal in America, he also got access to money. And with that came the escalated abuse of drugs.
Well, according to Jimmy, the first time he was offered cocaine was at a party held by James Brown, because Jimmy was doing a tour in the US as a child star. But this party, for this young boy, you know, it was a lot of cocaine there, and that's where it all started, I think.
At this moment, Jimmy was at the edge of his major breakthrough as a superstar in the jazz. And he played with artists like Willie Nelson, and in his fan club, so to speak, was practically all the guitar players in the world, like Hank Marvin and Carlos Santana and just everybody. And then suddenly he was gone.
Sometimes he lives from hand to mouth. Other times he is living large and earning money.
Yeah, I did Thai boxing, I did Wing Chun. From the hips comes the strength. And when you hit, it's like, you know? And then, you have the first. You are the first man.
It was in Holland that time I lived out of the street.